back to Now Media's TV show, Pain Diaries, broadcasting here in Houston, Texas on channel 2110. We are back to talk with Charles Sanders. He's a personal injury attorney here in Houston, Texas. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dr. Manzi. I really appreciate you guys having me on the show.
Oh, we're so excited for you to be here. So as a practicing pain management doc, I do see a decent amount of personal injury in my practice, but not everybody really understands what that means. So I'm really glad you're here today to share with us what personal injury is. What type of law do you practice, and why would anybody need a lawyer that practices personal injury?
Well, Dr. Manzi, personal injury is litigation that is designed to compensate you, the injured party, for the injuries that you've sustained as a result of another party's negligence.
So another party's negligence, meaning maybe?
Meaning they followed you too closely on the road and rear-ended you in a vehicle.
Okay. So rear-end accidents, or maybe some kind of slip and fall accident?
Correct.
There might be water or something on the floor that was not cleaned up properly. Those kind of things.
Yeah, correct. Like you're at a grocery store and you slip on a small puddle. So you would get, and you get injured as a result. Therefore, we have a lot, and then you decide to bring suit against the grocery store where you fell. So that is the person that is the third party who is responsible for paying your medical bills when you bring suit against them.
Okay, so that makes it much more clear for our audience. And are there different types of personal injury?
Yes, Dr. Nevin. There's the most common types of personal injury that I've run into, and most personal injury lawyers in Houston and the surrounding areas run into, are car accidents and premise liability cases, what you said, slip and falls.
Okay. And why can't a person just go and potentially just use their insurance if they have an injury when it comes to something like this? What's the difference, if you can explain
Well,
that?
it's funny that you bring that up, because I have a specific answer to that specific question. Well, the reason why you don't want to just go to your regular primary care doctor and then use your health insurance, because the second that you say the word accident, they're going to figure that out, and then they're going to subrogate, and that's a fancy way of saying pay me back. They're going to say, it's not fair to us that we paid for your injuries when you didn't cause it. So that's why you need to seek an attorney so that doesn't happen to you. And that's why it's not wise to use your own insurance when you're involved in a pretty catastrophic accident.
Yeah, I've had a lot of patients come to us for their catastrophic accidents and their personal injury claims, and they get really frustrated because they're like, my primary care abandoned me. They wouldn't see me. They wouldn't even examine me. They just told me, no, we can't do anything under a lawyer, so you have to find somebody else to treat you. And the patients have been frustrated by that. But I always enforce that to them. Listen, there's a group of us doctors that actually deal with these type of injuries, and we're going to take really good care of you.
Oh, exactly, and that's why it's so important to have a personal injury lawyer, because a personal injury lawyer, you call us, you sign up with us, you tell us about your pain, and we suggest, we could make some suggestions of some doctors that we know that would be in a position to treat you so that you'd be able to get treatment for your injuries.
Yeah, that's the liaison that really guides the case, is that personal injury lawyer. Now, in your practice, is it just you, or do you have other lawyers with your group?
I mean, me and my wife are practicing lawyers. We practice together. We own our practice 50-50. I do all the personal injury, and she does all the family law, and she was most recently inducted into the super lawyers by Thomson Reuters. So she's a super lawyer, rising star, and I'm just so proud of her.
That's fantastic. You should be proud of her. That's an amazing honor.
So in addition to the personal injury, which is my passion, her passion is family law, and I support her passion, and I'm starting to enjoy it too, but we'll talk about personal injury for now.
So when somebody calls your office, do you suggest as soon as they have that accident, they seek a personal injury lawyer, or do they wait to see if they get better first?
I say you must contact immediately, and this is the reason why. Because I used to be an adjuster. I was an adjuster for a couple different insurance companies like Geico and Gallagher Bassett, which is a third-party administrator like Liberty Mutual. And there are special departments that are designed to deal with unrepresented claimants. And the problem with this is they're most likely going to be really nice to you and give you all these kind words and say, oh yeah, you don't need to get a lawyer. I'll handle everything. But what you don't know is you're about to sign away everything, your rights to pain and suffering, to lost wages, to everything. And also, you're not going to know the laws, so the adjuster doesn't have to worry about following them. But the second that you get a lawyer, it's going to go to the normal adjuster. So that's why I would highly advise anyone in an accident of any sort caused by another person's negligence to always use a lawyer, because you don't want to be in a department that is known to manipulate and try to get the case off their plate as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. Another question that I encounter a lot in my practice is when somebody gets hit, like they're rear-ended or sideswiped, and they have a decent amount of damage to their car, but the person that hit them, it's a hit and run. What do we do? What do they do about that?
Well, the most important thing I could say about hit and runs is it's going to happen in Texas. It happened today. Just today, I got 2 calls by people that were involved in hit and runs, but our firm couldn't help them. Why? I'm telling everybody, because they didn't have underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage. What that provides is, let's say you do get hit by somebody with no insurance and they drive off, and you get hurt, you end up with a herniated disc in your back, you need pain management, you need physical therapy. You're not going to be able to have, there's not going to be any insurance to cover those injuries. That's why it's so important for you to get this coverage. The basic collision and liability isn't going to cover that.
Yeah, and in Texas, I mean, there's like 1,000 accidents a day here. It's pretty crazy. The number is staggering.
And I would say, Dr. Nevin, after out of 7 out of 10, 4 out of 10 of them are going to be uninsured.
Oh wow, that's at least, yeah, that's a decent
it's
amount.
it's heartbreaking.
That's terrible.
To see some of these people with see some of these potential clients and their injuries, and then you have to give them that telephone call that the person that hit them didn't have insurance, even though they were driving around in a Bentley. It's happened.
Absolutely. So that's a great point. You know, make sure your coverage is covering you in case that potentially happens, because you never know when an accident can happen. That's why it's called an accident, right? We don't predict these things.
Exactly.
So can you tell the audience how they can reach you, and you know, if they're in an accident, who should they call? Charles Sanders, right?
Well, obviously you should call me. I could be reached at my office, 713-221-3773. We have offices in Dallas, McAllen, and El Paso. We're serving the entire state of Texas. We can handle your case immediately. We'll take the stress off you, so you can just focus on what matters most, which is your recovery.
That's really fantastic that you have all these different offices. There's so many, that's huge coverage of this state. So I really urge people, go to your website and give you a call, send you an email, and really be proactive for your treatment. You know, if it's not your fault, there's people out there that are hopefully able to help you, as long as you're proactive about it. Well, thank you, Mr. Sanders. We really look forward to more education about the world of personal injury.
And thank you, Doc, for having me on. I look forward to seeing everybody soon.
Absolutely. I'm Dr. Manzi with Performance Pain and Sports Medicine in Houston, Texas, and this is Pain Diaries. Take care of you.